Well, howdy there, friend. Welcome back to Echoes of the Plains, where the stories ride in from long ago, and the wind still whispers the names of the legends who shaped the West. Now today, we're riding down the dusty trail of a man whose name still stirs up debate in saloons, schools, and storybooks alike, Jesse James. Some folks call him a hero, others call him a killer. But just like a thunderstorm on the prairie, he was never simple, and he never stayed still. So settle in, pour yourself a cup of hot coffee, and let's ride back to Missouri, to the roots of an American outlaw. The Boy from Missouri. Jesse Woodson James was born on September 5th, 1847, in Clay County, Missouri. His daddy, Reverend Robert James, was a Baptist preacher who left home to chase gold out in California and never came back. That left Jesse's mama, Zerelda, to raise him, his brother Frank, and their sister, right in the heart of Missouri farm country. Life wasn't easy, but it was quiet for a while. Jesse grew up with church on Sundays, cornfields in summer, and the hard hands of Southern tradition. But the world was changing, and Missouri was a place caught in between, North and South, Union and Confederate, freedom and fire. Baptized in blood. When the Civil War broke out, Missouri tore itself apart. It wasn't just battles and uniforms, it was neighbor against neighbor, guerrilla fighters, bushwhackers, ambushes, and vengeance. Frank James, Jesse's older brother, joined the Confederate cause early, and Jesse, well, he followed right behind. He rode with some of the deadliest guerrillas the war ever saw, Bloody Bill Anderson and William Quantrill. These weren't soldiers. These were shadows, men who wore no uniforms, rode hard, and left no survivors. One tale says Jesse was just 16 when he was shot in the chest during a skirmish. Another says he scalped Union soldiers with his own blade. Now, whether that's truth or tale, it's clear. The war hardened Jesse. He wasn't the same after. And the war may have ended in 1865, but Jesse's fight was far from over. The James Younger Gang. After the war, Jesse and Frank didn't come home and hang up their guns. They turned them on the very system they felt betrayed them: banks, trains, and Yankee businessmen. With the help of Cole, Jim, and Bob Younger, plus a few other Rough Riders, they formed what came to be known as the James Younger Gang. Their first big hit? The Clay County Savings Association in Liberty, Missouri. That was February 13th, 1866. Broad daylight, $60,000 gone, and that was just the start. Over the next decade, they robbed banks in Iowa, Kentucky, Alabama, Arkansas, even Canada. They derailed trains, held up stages, and vanished into the hills before the law could even saddle up. But Jesse wasn't just a bandit. He was a showman. He wrote letters to newspapers. He signed his name like a frontier celebrity, and he painted himself as a Southern avenger, stealing not for greed, but for justice. Now, whether folks believed it or not, they listened. And in places still hurting from the war, Jesse became a legend. The myth grows. What makes a man a legend? It ain't just what he does, it's what folks say he did. And Jesse James, well, his story grew bigger than his boots ever could. He was called the Robin Hood of the West, said to steal from the rich and give to the poor. But here's the truth, friend. Jesse kept most of what he stole. He lived under fake names. He moved often. He grew more paranoid as friends got caught or killed. The James Younger gang began to splinter. The Northfield, Minnesota raid in 1876, well, that was the nail in the coffin. They tried to rob the First National Bank, but the townfolk fought back. 2 gang members were killed. The Youngers were captured. Jesse and Frank barely escaped. After that, Jesse kept a low profile, but the law kept sniffing. By 1881, Jesse was hiding in plain sight, living in St. Joseph, Missouri, with his wife Z and their kids. He went by the name Thomas Howard, kept to himself, trusted few. But he let 2 men into his circle, Robert and Charlie Ford. He figured they were loyal. He figured wrong. On April 3, 1882, Jesse noticed a dusty picture on the wall of his home, took off his gun belt, stepped up to straighten it, and that's when Robert Ford pulled his pistol, shot Jesse in the back of the head. Just like that, the Outlaw King was gone, 34 years old. Now here's the thing. Robert Ford thought he'd be famous, but folks didn't cheer. They spit, they cursed, they called him a coward. Jesse's funeral drew crowds from all around. People filed past his casket in silence, some crying, others staring, all wondering how a farm boy from Clay County became one of the most feared and beloved outlaws in American history. And Jesse, well, he never really died. Not in the hearts of folks who felt forgotten, not in the pages of dime novels, not in the ballads sung by cowboys, rebels, and dreamers. He became a symbol of rebellion, of defiance, of a West that wasn't quite tamed yet. What do you make of Jesse James? Hero or villain? Lost boy or hardened killer? Maybe, just maybe, he was all of it. A reflection of the war, the land and the people caught in between. One thing's for sure, his story still rides through the wind, and that's why we tell it. Here on Echoes of the Plains, we don't just remember names, we keep them alive. So thank you for riding with me today. If you liked this tale, be sure to stick around. There's plenty more stories rustling in the grass and drifting across the sky. Till next time. This is Echoes of the Plains, signing off.